a wick below our zone. So I had a question recently, right? If price wicks below your zone, is that an invalid zone? Well, the answer is you got to think about what a wick actually is, right? Most traders don't understand what a wick actually is. The power of a wick is what gives you the indication to take the trade in the first place. I'll repeat that. The power of a wick allows you and gives you the confirmation to take the trade in the first place. So if we just kind of break this down from an ATAS or an order flow perspective, right? What was happening is we had this was a news event. So what we can see, if we look at what happened in the news event specifically, we had a huge amount of red delta. I mean, the entire candle, the bottom half was red delta. Now, if we just take a look below the fair value gap, so this is this region over here, which corresponds to this region over here, we can see, if we just read some of the delta outliers, the red rectangles, right? So 133 for 64. What does this mean? So the left number, 133, is the bid, and the right number is the ask, right? In this case, it's 64. So that's roughly a 2-to-1 ratio. So that's telling you that there's twice as many market participants hitting the bid than the ask. This means, as a trader, there's more aggressive sellers than there are aggressive buyers, right? So at the price 61.58 or 61.59, round about this area, all the way down to 61.58 over here, we see aggressive selling. So we see market participants going in, hitting the bid. They're trying to drive price lower. That's what aggressive sellers are there to do. That's what the bid represents. The bid is significantly higher than the ask. So we see a couple of interesting things. We see a wick below the zone. We're tapping into that fair value gap I mentioned on the 15-minute time frame. But when we tap into this fair value gap, and indeed we do wick below it, right, we can see a lot of these sellers have not been rewarded, right? Because if they were rewarded, price wouldn't have broken to the upside the way it did. So what we can see is we can see passive buyers stepping in. And this is the crucial difference I want traders to understand, right? You have the bid and the ask, right? Aggressive sellers versus aggressive buyers. Now, what makes this platform powerful is that you can actually see who is aggressive, and therefore you can see who is being rewarded, or even better, not rewarded. So what you want to understand is that the market over here was absorbing aggressive sellers. So it shows you a passive buyer is present. It shows you passive buyers are present below the zone or at this zone to drive price higher. Now what's interesting is when we come into this area, this key level,